This meeting is called to order with a prayer and a pledge. Good evening, and welcome to the St. Charles Parish Council meeting on Monday, January 6, 2025, at 6 p.m. in the council chambers in the parish courthouse. Please silence all electronic devices and remove all hats. Before calling this meeting to order, I would like to take a moment to extend our deepest sympathies for those impacted by the devastating tragedy on the morning of New Year's Day in the city of New Orleans. Please keep the victims, survivors, and their loved ones in your thoughts and prayers during this difficult time. This meeting is now called to order with a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance from Pastor Charles Johnson Sr. with Mount Zion Community Church in Booty.
Let us pray. Father God, we give thanks to you once again for another opportunity to call upon your holy and righteous name. Father, we just thank you once again, Lord, for those that have been chosen to serve on this year, Lord, that you will bless them, that you will keep them, that you will lead them, and most of all, that you will guide them. That you will enable all those that take care of the business of this parish today, Father God, to come on one accord today, Father, and that we will do things that's decent and, Lord, that in your sight today. We pray right now that you will continue to give them the leadership and the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding they need today, Lord, to do a good work, Lord, for your people as well as for your kingdom. And right now, Lord, we just thank you once again, Lord, for this meeting tonight, that everything will be done according to your will and according to your way. For in your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Johnson. Approval of the minutes from the regular meeting, December 16th, 2024. A motion and a second is needed to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of December 16th, 2024. We have a motion by Councilman Fisher, a second by Councilwoman Wilson. Please cast your votes. And that passes unanimously. Special business, proclamations, canvass returns, etc. 2024-0426, in recognition, Councilman Bob Fisher, 2024 Council Chairman. The Parish of St. Charles, January 6, 2025. In recognition of service, the St. Charles Parish Council deeply appreciates your year of commitment as Council Chairman of the St. Charles Parish Council. Bob Fisher, January 8, 2024 through January 5th, 2025. Councilman Fisher's here to receive.
I'd like to say thank you to my fellow council members. It was a wonderful year. We did a lot of great things together. I'm looking forward to the next 3 years. Again, I think we've got a good team. I think we make a great team. So I appreciate it and looking forward to this year.
Thank you, Councilman Fisher. 2024-0427, in recognition, Councilwoman Holly Fonseca, 2024 Council Vice Chairwoman. Mr. Pile.
The Parish of St. Charles, January 6, 2025. Maybe I have to turn this on. Yep. Parish of St. Charles, January 6, 2025. In recognition of service, the St. Charles Parish Council deeply appreciates your year of commitment as the Council Vice Chairman of the St. Charles Parish Council, Holly Fonseca, January 8th, 2024 to January 5th, 2025. And you are here to accept this, huh? Yeah. You please.
Thank you, Councilman Pele. I'd just also like to thank my fellow council members. You all have been a great group to work with while I was vice chairman, and thank you for the opportunity for me to gather the experience as your chairperson this year. I'm looking forward to working with you all this year. And the administration, you all have been great to work with over the past 5 years. So, thank you. Mr. Fisher, Councilman Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to say a special thank you. You really brought a lot to the vice chair position. The way you handled the budget hearings in my absence, I think we had a very smooth thing. I think everybody can agree with that. So, again, I want to say thank you for your year as vice chairman. I was the chairman. So.
Okay. File number 2024-0428, Proclamation Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Councilwoman Wilson.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Whereas it is appropriate that on January 20th, 2025, we celebrate and offer special recognition to Dr. Martin Luther King for his unselfish, nonviolent dedication to the civil rights movement. And whereas we recognize that his fortitude and dedication to the civil rights movement has carved a place for Dr. King in history for all races as a continual fight for freedom, equality, and justice. And whereas Dr. King, born in Atlanta, ordained a Baptist minister in 1954, received his doctorate from Boston University in 1955, received the 1964 Nobel Peace Prize, and became a leader of the U.S. civil rights. Spoke from his heart on August 28, 1963, on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial when he gave his famous speech, "I Have a Dream." And whereas Dr. King's words rang out across America and became deeply rooted in the American dream that we would follow the true meaning of the words of Abraham Lincoln, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, the true dream of Dr. King. And whereas Dr. King was assassinated on the balcony of the Lorraine Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee on April 4, 1968, marking the passage of history and the understanding that Dr. King did not die in vain, but whose leadership and dreams will live on through history with a yearly celebration throughout the United States as a day of remembrance. So in remembrance of the contribution of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as a leader of the civil rights movement, we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the parish president, do hereby proclaim January 20th, 2025 as Martin Luther King Jr. Day in St. Charles Parish. And we have Mr. LaGrange, Ms. Dwayne LaGrange, and Ms. Lillian August to accept.
Good evening. On behalf of the Dr. Martin Luther King Commemorative Organization of St. Charles Parish, we'd like to thank the council and the parish president for recognizing such a great event. It's going to be a wonderful day. We encourage you all to come out in solidarity for the march and the fellowship with us. The march will take place at 10:30 at the West Bank Bridge Park. Asking that you invite your family, friends to come out and march and become a part of a great event. So thank you so much. We appreciate you all. Congratulations, Howard.
Reports, finance and administrative activities, 2024-0436, geographic information systems. And I think we have Mr. Martinez here to present.
Good evening, council members, Parish President Jewell. I'm here to give you a brief update on some of our task for the year, the upcoming year, 2025. This is going to be brief, high-level stuff that we do. As the GIS system reaches its maturity, we've been in, since its inception, 15 years now, we've been able to actually get the system up and rolling. So we've actually made it to a point where I can kind of back off a little bit and design other things like more tool, like focus on more of the tools and applications that other departments can use and the end of the public can use also. Let's see. Okay. So we're going to still continue to do our drainage task map. I mean, yeah, it's an ongoing thing as we as part of our daily routine. But one of the things is, as the system, you know, I've been fortunate to have work with a good council staff, parish presidents in the past year that have supported us and invested a lot of money into this system. So we've actually gotten to the point where now we need to come up with some tools or some software, something that can measure the performance and make sure that the system's running good. So look at the performance, the health of the system is critical to keep it up and running, because there's a lot of like third-party applications, the residents and a lot of the departments rely on the data and the system itself now. So when it goes down, I'm getting, my phone's burning up. A lot of people are calling me. So it's a good thing, bad thing, but now we've invested a hefty amount of money into the system that we can actually have software that looks at all the performance metrics, that we can tell if something's going down and drill down and look at what the cause is. And it's just a screenshot of the software. This is just some out-of-the-box reports. And this is a brand-new system, so it's a lot of sitting down, kind of like everything GIS. You have to customize and build everything. So I wish it was as easy as just a piece of software you install and run it, but unfortunately it's not. This is one of the tools that I started working on last year, and basically looks at every time somebody clicks on a web map or pulls information from the database. You can look at the response time, how long it took to pull the data in. If it drops, what caused it. I mean, so it's really drilling down into the system. So before it was kind of up in the air, like, well, I don't know, what do we do now? Redo the whole thing and start over. So now that's going to save us a lot of time. I'm hoping that we can actually drill down to specific times and specific data layers or specific events that cause problems in the system. Another thing that we've worked on in the past that I was hoping to launch late last year. It's built, but I never did launch it because, you know, building the new application, moving it over to the new data center and everything. It took a little time, kind of backed us up. But this is one of the first things I'm going to release this year. It's the new GIS data hub. Some of you guys have seen it, and it works, but it's a landing page for everything related to the GIS department. So we get a lot of public records requests for people that want parcel data, streets data, address, all this. The data is just maps, street maps, stuff that's like readily available. You know, that we don't have to go through council records or whatever, council requests. That we feel that we can actually just point people to this over here, and they can actually download a lot of the stuff that's already printed out, maps, street maps. They can download data, customize their own areas. Let's say I just want parcels or a zoning map for a certain area. They can download all of it from this one application. So hopefully, and it's nothing novel. A lot of people are doing it. It's just putting it together. It could take some time. So we're hoping it's going to alleviate some of the public records requests on our end and kind of just run on its own. And then the last thing that I had mentioned, I think, in the previous meeting that we're going to put on this hub also is, again, one of the new tools is for drainage that we're looking at. It's called the Elevation Profile Viewer. It's been released before, but now a lot of the people want to use the elevation data that we have, the contours that we have, and they can actually go on the map and click along a certain segment of land. So let's say if they want to, I guess you could click on a ditch and click on one end of it and go all the way down to the other end of the ditch and click on it, and it'll give you the profile of it based on the data that we have. And that's I'm gonna have to put a disclaimer on that for it's not, you know, live data, but that's the only thing. But other than that, it's, if you can see on the picture here, there's a red line across the map, and wherever you move, your cursor on the line, it hovers along the profile at the bottom of the map. So you can get an idea of the topography of a piece of land by just looking at this here. There's going to be some other stuff added to it, like the other thing, like one of the things I get a lot of people are wanting to load data into it. So I'm going to make it where you can actually upload a spreadsheet into it. Let's say somebody gives you some elevations or coordinates, you can dump it in there, and it should pull it into the map, and you'll be able to see your own information that way. So a lot of it's like kind of thinking outside of the box and thinking how other people or departments can actually use this stuff without having to come to us for every single little thing. So it's kind of like taking the data that we have readily available and exploring it yourself, So it's just I'm not saying everybody's going to sit there and use this, but there's a lot of people that, a lot of people that have requested something like this, and it comes in pretty handy. So it takes, finally, this is the reason I hadn't released much before, because now we're able to incorporate our own LiDAR data that we fly, and it consumes it through the service. So I know whatever shows there, it matches whatever we have. It's not pulling some data from Google Earth or Google Maps or something. So it's our own data that we flow. So that's gonna be available on the hub, and that's pretty much it. It's just gonna focus on trying to build some applications or tools that the other departments or the average Joe in the parish likes to tinker around with a lot of the stuff, believe it or not. So, and that's what we're gonna release hopefully here in the near future. And the rest of the year, I know we're going to be looking at this, the monitor software that we have is building custom tools. Like I said, it's a lot of the system has probably 6 servers that we have, and they all communicate. They have to communicate outside through the IT's firewall. There's a lot that goes into it. So we actually have to incorporate all that when we're designing the tools and applications to monitor the system. So it's going to be something we can explore. It's going to be a fun project. So that's all I have.
All right. Councilman Pele.
Quick.
Mr. Martinez, I want to thank you for the job that you and your crew do. I'm one of the frequent users, as you well know, of the drainage system, and I really welcome this elevation viewer and the profile. This would be very helpful to a lot of people, and keep up the good work. Is this coming soon or what?
Oh, it's ready right now, yeah.
Hot doggy.
I took a much-needed break the last couple of weeks, so.
Very good.
I'll send it out to everybody. Like I said, I'm gonna launch the hub and then send it out. It's gonna be available there. So like I said, it's a one-stop shop. You don't have to I want the water zoning map, or I want the waterworks or drainage. It's all on one page. You just click on whatever you want. So,
Thank you for your foresight.
thank you.
Councilman Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Listen, I've been a big fan, for the last 5 years. It's helped with work orders. It's helped Public Works understand a lot more of some of the issues in that. So looking forward to the new version. The old one's pretty good. So, you get down and you dial down and lose it. So I appreciate the effort of getting some of the servitudes and months marked for us and some more in Norco. I continue to please do that. And then, like I said, updated, it makes my job so much easier. Resident calls, I can pop a request in, and it's all done, and Public Works has everything they need. So Mr. Bingham appreciates it too.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be an ongoing project. The servitude will be, it's a lot of reading through legal descriptions and going out and looking for stuff. So it'll be here ongoing forever. So same thing with the roads, addresses, parcels. So, but thank you.
Parish President Jewell.
Louis, you said when the system's down, Walter blows your phone up?
All the time.
Okay. I think Walter watches subsidence in real time across our GIS system.
Beta test site.
Exactly. No, Louis, on a serious note, thank you for everything you do. Obviously, a lot of the members of the council use this product, and I think this is going to be a huge step forward for everybody. And just give your best to give everybody's best to your team because we often refer to we often refer to these guys as like an ISP, an internal service provider, because they don't really get too much public facing outside of actually being in people's backyards and I'm sure getting yelled at a couple of times while they're working, but providing critical information to all of our field crews out in the field. So just thanks for everything you guys do, and keep up the good work. I get to brag about this department to my other parish presidents, and they wish they had something like this. And, you know, they say the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, and I'm glad that we did plant that tree when we did, because the fruits of that tree are on display now. So thanks.
Thank you.
Louis, I just want to thank you as well. I mean, we've worked together for many years, and I hope that you and your team feel that, you know, your value, because you are valued here. And the other thing I wanted to mention is I do hope that when changes are made in the field, that data is, you know, information is still getting to you all, because the GIS system is only as good as the data being current.
Yeah.
So it's very important.
It is, yeah. We've been working more with the field leaders, the foremans. So a lot of the times they're doing a job of keeping us posted, like what's going on. And not all the time, but the big projects, they're very good about it now. So we're communicating a lot more than we were previously. So.
Good to hear some
Yeah, I'm
exciting
glad
things
too,
that
so.
you're working on.
Well, cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
2024-0437, Parish President Remarks Report. Parish President Jewell.
Thank you, Chairwoman. We are going to go ahead and get started, and just to echo your words at the beginning of the meeting, we want to offer our prayers to all of those affected by the French Quarter attacks on New Year's Day. Obviously, started off 2025 on a dark note, but we ask that all of you and all of the residents continue to pray for all of those who were killed and their families, as well as those who were injured by this terrorist attack in New Orleans. And then we ask you just also, we want to just pray and keep in our thoughts all the first responders who immediately acted without hesitation to save many more lives that morning. So want to also update that our Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, as well as our Sheriff's Office, has worked in the aftermath of this event and assisted the City of New Orleans, the FBI, and others for this event, and also has been working with today's arrival of the President in New Orleans. All right, next we'll go to the incident on the Mississippi River. Hard to tell what is going on in this photo, but this is the salvage operations that were going on after the tugboat collision. On December 29th, bulk carrier, the Clara B, collided with a tugboat, the Patrick J, just north of the Hale Boggs Bridge. As a result of that collision, the tugboat sank. All 5 crew abandoned the ship and are okay. They were brought to a local area hospital where they were checked out. In the immediate aftermath of that incident, we only had one person working in the EOC, but they figured out through monitoring not only the traffic on the river, but also the MRTIS, that there was a collision, and they worked immediately, and that person was Michael Tregg. He worked immediately to get our water intakes shut off on the downriver side of that collision. So I want to say big thanks to him for, acting so quickly by himself. That would be an event that we would have multiple people working, but he did a great job by himself working that event, notifying all of the appropriate people, and getting the situation under control from a logistics standpoint. Immediately after, and the next morning, air and water monitoring were set up at the incident site to the parish line. St. Charles Parish EOC has been working with Coast Guard, LDEQ, the LOSCO, the LA Oil Spill Coordinator's Office, as well as the vessel's owners, contractors, to assist with the response and cleanup at the site. There was very little recoverable diesel that was found. Containment boom was placed out of an abundance of caution and remains in place at our water intake. Is there a next slide, Anthony? Yep, so the salvage took place this past weekend. The river was shut down. As you can see, they were able to get the boat up and moved from the center of the channel over to the east bank of the parish and we're coordinating with the parish. I want to thank Jason Tasse for communicating to our industry partners to make sure that they knew that the river was going to be closed and to alter any logistical issues that they might have had. Let's see. Everything was taken care of pretty much flawlessly on Saturday, and river traffic had reopened. The tug has been uprighted and moved again to the channel bank. From what we understand now, they are going to refloat the tug and, if possible, tow it or place it on a barge to whatever dry dock it needs to go to. Next. All right, we got an early Christmas present on December 23rd when Paul Mallard Road reopened to southbound traffic for the first time since August of 2023, when construction began on Phase 1 of the Paul Mallard Revitalization Project. Phases 2 and 3 are forthcoming, and we will share more information on the timeframes and schedules, as well as traffic plans when those become available from LADOTD. I don't think I see anybody here from Luling Fire Department. No, but I'm sure they're very happy that the project is no longer taking place in front of their station. All right, next. All right, last meeting, we were able to pass the resolution to take over Cross Bayou Pump Station from Pontchartrain Levy District, and that has been in effect since January 1st of this year. The CEA authorizing the transfer was approved at our December 16th meeting, and Public Works is working with BLD, who was the contractor involved in running the station, to make sure we are all familiarized with all the station's controls, and we will continue operating that station in the same manner in which it has operated previously. This is now the largest pump station in our pump station asset list, which I believe is about 1,300 CFS miles. Is that right? Right around there. So a very large pump station and also critical to the East Bank of St. Charles Parish. All right. Bent piles are going in place, or bumper piles, dolphins, whatever you want to call them, are going into place at our East Bank water intake. The piles are going to act as barriers to prevent any type of barge strike or vessel strike that would otherwise leave, and would otherwise, without these, would leave our intake susceptible to other hazards in the river. East Bank lift station upgrades. Okay, the work for the East Bank Sewer Lift Station project is almost complete. We are waiting for Entergy to run power to the station at Wildcat Lane. East Street and Clayton Drive in Norco are now connected, I think as of today, and startup is scheduled for tomorrow to bring those stations online. The project took Lake Pontchartrain Basin Foundation funding to convert 3 older dry pit stations to submersible stations. I think you recall at a previous meeting, I showed the difference between those two types of stations. These require less maintenance and are safer for our crews to work on. All right, Texaco Road Force Main. Obviously, it doesn't look there like this right now because it's a lot more messy. But this was the new line that got laid from pretty much Heather or the St. John Lift Station all the way to the Luling Oxidation Pond. If you recall, we went out about 7 times or so last year for breaks in this in the original line. So this is the asbestos concrete line. Will be replaced with this polyethylene line, which should last 50+ years. And I don't have, okay, the line was switched over on December 31st. So this line is in operation. The asbestos concrete line is now abandoned, and we'll be using this. So huge maintenance upgrade and reliability upgrade for that main line going to the pond. All right, over to home elevations. Our grants office has been working with BBEC to compile a competitive grant application for $4 million of funding through fiscal year 2024 Flood Mitigation Assistance Swift Current Grant Program, which will be submitted by the 16th of January. Of the 203 letters sent to homeowners, 27 returned documents to BBEC. Of those 27 homes, 19 were severe repetitive losses and 8 were repetitive losses. I think I have some information here about severe repetitive loss and repetitive loss. Essentially, severe repetitive loss have 4 or more separate claims. Repetitive loss have 2 or more, at least 2 separate claims. SRLs are eligible for 100% cost share. RLs are normally eligible for 90% cost share under the SWIFT current grant program. So we're going to keep moving along with these, and the grants office has informed me that if more money becomes available, we will try to notify those residents again one more time and get more people into the program and utilize as much of the funding as we can. All right, Primetime Seniors event, Thursday at 10 a.m. at the Edward A. Dufresne Community Center. We're going to celebrate the start of our new Primetime Seniors program. The kickoff will showcase what seniors can expect from the new program, and it also allows seniors to share feedback on things that they would like to see for future tailored offerings to meet their needs. And this event marks the transition from the RSVP program to this new program offered by Parks and Recreation. Additionally, information including calendar events will be found at www.scpparksandrec.com/primetime. We also have spring sports registration open. It's going to be open for recreation baseball, softball, t-ball, tennis, and track and field through January 25th, with late registration from the 26th through the 31st. Links to register through your booster club or the host organization, can be found online at scpparksandrec.com. We have our Christmas tree recycling program going on right now. Through January 17th, residents can drop off natural Christmas trees without any lights, stands, bags, ornaments, or flocking at the West Bank Bridge Park or at the Ormond Sandbag location along the railroad tracks near the fire station on Ormond Boulevard until January 16th. Or curbside collection will be January 13th through the 17th. As you know, the Christmas trees are used on the coast to help prevent coastal land loss. Save the date for Trash Bash 2025. Our 17th annual Trash Bash will be held on April 12th, with the celebration to follow at the community center and a community-wide cleanup. This year, we hope to make the event even bigger than ever, especially with the Lieutenant Governor's recognition of our efforts in last year's through Love the Boot Week, and our award that we won, the Outstanding Parish during Love the Boot Week last year. Stay tuned for more information. We are going to coincide, I don't think it's going to be on the same day, but in the general time frame as our biannual household hazardous waste pickup.
Yes.
More information on that to come as well. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Parish President Jewell. Okay, I'm not seeing any council discussion. I would be remiss if I didn't thank Councilman Fisher for his work that he did as our chairman last year. He's a seasoned chairman. He had served in our prior term, and also I think when he was on the Planning Commission as well. So he was a natural choice to serve as chairman during our first year of our term last year, and did a wonderful job, and we thank him for his leadership. All right, moving along. Ordinances and resolutions introduced for publication, public hearing, Monday, January 27th, 2025, 6 p.m., Council Chambers, Courthouse in Hornville. 2024-0441, 2025-0001. Ordinances scheduled for public hearing introduced at a previous meeting. 2024-0419, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with McKim & Creed, Inc. to perform engineering services for the water system modeling, project number WKS 115, in the amount of $253,278. Mr. Gordon.
Good evening, members of the council, Parish President Jewell. So the professional services agreement for the water system modeling project, which is discussed in this ordinance, will procure engineering services to develop a water model for the St. Charles Parish water distribution system. Model development, it includes data collection, field testing, calibration, technical specifications, and user training, which will be the waterworks staff. The hydraulic model developed from these tasks will indicate near and long-term system and capital improvements. So this is, the department worked a good portion of the last 2 years to kind of fill some gaps with the initial data set that we had put together. However, in the course of all this, basically we recognized that in order to have a real water model that could help us figure out various gaps in our system and near and long-term improvements, that a true model needed to be put together. So we went out and did a statement of qualifications. McKim and Creed submitted the best of the qualification statements. And we kind of hope that over the course of this next year, that the model will go through this whole process. It'll probably take all of 2025 until it's finally ready for our training and usage of it. For example, some of the things that we could get from this on the water model, which will be important, is, for example, like when new subdivisions come in and they construct a new subdivision, they put in hydrants, for example, and the new water distribution systems and the mains that go along with that subdivision. We can see how it's going to impact the surrounding water system. Another one, we've talked to Councilman Fisher about this in the past with some of the fire districts. There are some areas in which some of the hydrants during the PIL ratings, they may just perform a little under where the PSI should be for those hydrants. So we can kind of use this as this model to help us determine what some improvements can be made to bring those up the grade, so to speak, and if not, what other improvements can we do around it? So that's an important thing. Another big important one is with industrial development. When we have a lot of industrial development coming in, when they have new tanks for fire suppression services, for example, we can see that when those systems come online and they're utilized, what the impact would be to the surrounding neighborhood. For example, if there, God forbid, was some kind of situation where they needed to be used. I'll answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon. File number 2024-0419 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Councilman Pile.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Gordon, I happen to notice, and I look through these things because I like to understand what the scope is. Very comprehensive, well-written. One thing jumped out at me in the general terms: the consultant shall at all times during his agreement maintain a valid Louisiana consulting license and any other applicable licenses necessary for the performance of the project. So I looked through to see if they actually are licensed in the state of Louisiana, and the firm is not. They're licensed in North Carolina. You have 2 individuals who have been given by resolution to speak on behalf of the company, and that's on the minutes of the meeting, board of directors. So I'm kind of curious, though I understand and I think I see this firm as having maybe qualifications that nobody here in Louisiana might have. Are they truly licensed to do the work?
They're licensed to operate in the state of Louisiana.
Not according to lapels. Two individuals here who are named are given authority by resolution to speak on behalf of the firm. So I checked on lapels today because I had never heard of them. And listen, I'm not trying to just pick, but if they are going to do business and want to do business in the state of Louisiana, it's easy enough to just go ahead and apply the firm and get a license.
Okay, I will look at it before we sign anything. However, I'm 90% sure, 99% sure they are. They've been doing work for us and work all throughout the state of Louisiana for for parishes all throughout this state. For example, McKim Creed's doing the same kind of water model for the
She
city of
is a
Shreveport.
licensed professional engineer in the state of Louisiana, as is the other gentleman that is listed here to speak on behalf of the company, who happens to be Glenn Shaheen. Both of them are registered professional engineers in the state of Louisiana. It doesn't imply that the firm is licensed in the state of Louisiana, which is what we are saying that they should be. I checked. They're licensed in North Carolina. So, again, I'm not trying to poo-poo them. I'm just saying that, they should comply. And they could easily do it.
We'll make sure that they do it, but.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, sir.
Parish President Jewell.
I think Greg hit on it. I know we've used this company several times. Most recently, the project that I can think of, Mike, if I'm not mistaken, they did the entire renovation to the sewer pond, the oxidation pond on the West Bank, and I think we have other projects with them as well. So,
Sea filter, they just did.
yeah, they just did the sea filter project as well. So I'm not sure where that is. We'll have to maybe
Sure they rectify
just check with them.
anything
Mike,
they
you
need
can
to.
call Glenn Shaheen.
I'm just texting Glenn right now.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Any other council discussion? Okay, please cast your votes for file number 2024-0419. And that passes unanimously. Okay, 2024-0420, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of change order number 1, final, for the St. Charles Parish West Bank Spray Park, project number WBSP 2112, and additional parking located at Edward A. Dufresne Community Center to decrease the contract amount by $48,348.60 and increase the contract time by 148 days. Mr. Foray.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the council, Parish President Jew. Yeah, happy to report, there was a decrease in costs. That's always a good thing. Prolonged, we had significant and prolonged rain events during that time. Many, as you know, when the community center was built, we had to raise that piece of property 8 to 10 foot. That ground was significantly lower, so as we raised the elevation, those rain events, maybe 1 or 2 days would impact us 7 to 10 days because it was low. And as we built the elevation, we always were dealing with that. And then the bathroom came with the epoxy. We needed a certain temperature and dry conditions to do the epoxy flooring and then put the fixtures. That delayed us another month. So all this information was provided to the architect. He approved it, so I'd ask for your support. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Foray. File number 2024-0420 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2024-0420. And that passes unanimously. File number 2024-0421, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of Amendment Number 3 to Ordinance Number 22-7-2, which approved the professional services agreement with Digital Engineering and Imaging, Inc. to perform planning services for road maintenance 2022 to 2023. Project number P220501 in the amount of $52,306. Mr. Bingham.
The administration is asking for this to be postponed indefinitely.
Thank you, Mr. Bingham. File number 2024-0421 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Is there any council discussion? Okay. A motion and a second are needed to postpone indefinitely file number 2024-0421. We have a motion by Councilman Fisher, a second by Councilman Commerdale. Please cast your votes to postpone indefinitely file number 2024-0421. That passes unanimously. 2024-0422, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of change order number 2 with Cass Brothers, Inc. for concrete maintenance 2023 to 2024, project number P230803, to increase the contract amount by $328,314.80, and to increase the contract time by 60 days. Mr. Bingham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This project is, I think, something that was needed for a long time. When Parish President Jewell came into office, he asked me to take on the roads. We have now, with this, we'll have all the concrete streets that were in very poor or poor condition. We will be taking care of all of those under this program. So I would appreciate your support for that. Those streets are Leo, Scorpio, and Aries, and they really are in need of that improvement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bingham. File number 2024-0422 is now open for public hearing. If there is anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2024-0422. And that passes unanimously. 2024-0423, an ordinance of the Parish of St. Charles, providing that the Code of Ordinances, Parish of St. Charles, be amended by revising Section 15-5, Motor Vehicles and Traffic of said code to provide for the installation of no overnight parking signs on the south side of Carriage Lane from the property line dividing 98 and 96 Carriage Lane and along the entire length of Dunleith Court as it transitions from Dunleith Drive to the dead end at the Carriage Canal in Destrehan. Mr. Pillier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was contacted by a resident who has property on this little dead-end section between Carriage Lane and the canal, and they've contacted the Sheriff's Department a number of times for people who park overnight, particularly some equipment or floats that they have for some carnival thing, and I've seen that myself. And the Sheriff's Office says they were unable to enforce anything because there wasn't a sign up. So sure enough, I checked on out there, and then I contacted Public Works, and they said, well, you have to submit an ordinance, which this is it. The people have the intention. They live on that little stub street right by Carriage Lane, and they own the 2 lots across the street from them, and they plan to develop that into some rental property. They've already got that ball rolling, but they want to get this done to prevent people from parking overnight and then getting too used to it. So I'd appreciate your support on this. I think they have all the right intentions and they've got the right reasoning for doing it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Pillier. Okay. File number 2024-0423 is now open for public hearing. If there is anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2024-0423. And that passes unanimously. File number 2024-0424, an ordinance to approve a purchase and/or expropriate the heirs of a certain 20.776 acre parcel of property owned by Clyde J. Melanson et al. To St. Charles Parish, located along the southern side of the Huon Street extension, being partially adjacent to the Department of Public Works site at 166 Scorpio Street and the Huonville Sewer Treatment Plant. Mr. Raymond.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon. This is a long ago commenced project that we finally feel like we can make some traction. We have reached a verbal agreement with Mrs. Melanson, and we, if she is unable to deliver the consent of her family members, we will expropriate the property as necessary for drainage and storage. I would ask for your support. It's here in Hornville.
Thank you, Mr. Raymond. File number 2024-0424 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Councilwoman O'Daniels.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Raymond, could you address the language here? Do we need to make a motion to amend purchase and/or expropriate the heirs?
I'm looking at section 1 in the ordinance itself.
Okay.
And it says that the purchase and/or expropriation of 20.776 acres owned by the heirs of Clyde J. Melanson. So perhaps we should add the word acres. Is that where you're looking?
Well, I'm looking at the first paragraph, an ordinance to approve a purchase and/or expropriate the heirs of.
Should
so-
be of property
Okay.
owned by. I apologize for that.
That's okay. I just wanted to make sure
Or
we had the
expropriate
language.
from, let's maybe just
We
put
need
the word from.
Okay, yeah, something
From
easy.
the heirs.
Yes, so, point of order, I'd like to make a motion to amend 2024-0424 to add
That deal.
from,
And
Okay.
after expropriate in the introductory paragraph.
Okay.
Ms.
And-
O'Daniels, also in section 1
Mm-hmm.
of the ordinance part, of the ordained part, after the numerals 20.776, I would ask that you amend it by adding the word acres.
Okay. I think we're gonna, okay, I'm gonna start over, that's okay. A motion to amend 2024-0424 in the introductory paragraph to add from after expropriate, so expropriate from the heirs, and also to add an S at the end of the acre, which should read acres after 20.774 acres, and also to amend on section 1 of the language, the operative language, that the purchase and expropriation of 20.776 acres.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
acres
Thank
being
you.
added there. That's my motion to amend.
I appreciate that.
Could I have a, somebody needs to second, thank you.
All right. We have motion to amend, Councilwoman Skiba, and a second by Councilwoman DeBruyer. File number 2024-024 is now open for public hearing. If there is anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding the amendment, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Let me just pause there and repeat that amendment. Ms. O'Daniel's proposed amendment is in the introductory paragraph, after expropriate, to add the word from, and also to add an S after acres, and then in the section 1 paragraph, after 20.776, to add acres. Okay. Public hearing is now open. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion just on the amendment? Seeing none, please cast your votes to amend file number 2024-0424. Okay, and that amendment passes unanimously. So file number 2024-0424, as amended, is now open for public hearing. If there is anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Councilwoman Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to thank Parish President Jew and the administration for this, because this has been an ongoing conversation that we've been having, so I just want to thank you all for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Wilson. Parish President Jewell.
Yeah, I want to echo what Councilwoman said. This issue actually predates, it actually spans multiple administrations. And I think we're finally in a place where we're going to be able to acquire this property and bring some much-needed drainage relief to the areas of Hawn and King Street. There's one more step. We have a company that is going to be donating that 100-foot servitude that we talked about. And I think we're just waiting for one little piece of paper from them, and we will take care of that one as well. So we're excited to get this one a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel here before we can go out to bid and get this thing done. So we're excited.
Thank you, Parish President Jewell.
Yes, thank you. It's actually been 2 administrations, so this is the 3rd administration that actually was starting this work to get it done for us. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Wilson. I'd just like to add, the parish has been wanting to acquire this parcel for many, many years. Back when I was grants officer, we did a LCDBG grant project, and we tried to get this project, this parcel to do a project at the Hornville Sewer Treatment Plant, and we were not successful. So this has been a long time coming, and I thank this administration for, really getting the ball rolling on this, and glad you can parish will finally be able to acquire it. Okay, any more council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2024-0424. As amended. Thank you. That passes unanimously. Okay, 2024-0425, an ordinance revoking a special permit use for automobile sales in a C2 zoning district on Lot 1, OTAN subdivision, 16830 Highway 90, Des Allemands. Mr. Albert?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Special permit uses are a privileged use within the zoning ordinance. Whenever there are code enforcement issues that we have to address, there is a special set of remedies provided by the code. In this instance, you'll find a revocation report on page 85 of your agenda that delineates the various interactions the department's had with the use over a year now at this point. Due to repeated violations, we were forced to bring the special permit use on site before the planning commission and subsequently you all for determination on whether or not they can continue to operate as originally approved.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Albert. File number 2024-0425 is now open for public hearing. If there is anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening, everyone. Mike Naboo, 1104 Primrose, Bootsy, 70039. I'd like to speak to be able to keep the car lot there. Right now, it's sitting on Lot 1. I don't know if we have a picture of it. It's sitting on Lot 1. I own 2 adjacent residential lots that we're bringing to the board next month to try to make it one big lot, not to include more inventory there, but just to be able to spread it out. Based on conversations I had with residents there, it's basically because we're fitting 17 to 20 cars on that narrow single lot. So what we're hoping to do is include the 2 residential lots to be able to spread the inventory, not increase the inventory, just spread the current inventory. This is the first time the parish is revoking a permit in the parish's history. I just hope you guys would think about that because it's not really a good thing to start, in my opinion, obviously. And I do have a vested interest. I'm just the landlord there. The tenant is here, and he's going to speak on his behalf. The parish's code enforcement's been called out there 3 times, 1 time for a honking alarm, and that was on a Sunday. The other 2 times, the neighbor right beside the property who actually lives right on Highway 90, which his property should be commercial, is commercial, I think. would wait for a car delivery truck to pull up that carries 10 vehicles back to back and take a picture and say the road is blocked. Well, the road is going to be blocked because he's using it for a car lot, but it's going to be blocked for a total of 45 minutes to an hour. The vehicles get unloaded and parked on the lot. I hired a company to do a traffic impact study based on and I'd like to pass these out if I can. It's currently a car lot with a special permit, use permit. If my tenant leaves, I have a operator that's going to go there with a convenience store. It's basically comparing a convenience store impact study with a car lot. And I really think the neighbors should really consider having the car lot is, according to this study here, is 100 times better than a convenience store as far as traffic, if that's what they're worried about, and congestion. Car lot, they get one delivery a week, which is 4 per month. The convenience store, there's 12 vendors that have 18-wheelers that will need to come and unload and pick up. So I just wish the council would give us the opportunity to present at the next meeting, adding those 2 residential lots to make it one big lot to be able to spread the inventory rather than expand it. Yes, ma'am.
You have anything else to add?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Any questions?
We'll do that during
got
council
it.
discussion. Thank you, Mr. Nabut. Is there anyone else who would like to come up and speak regarding this item? Please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Yes, my name is Kawaja Umair, 63 Meal Avenue in Kenner, 70065. I want to say that, we've been there about a year. I had a partner that we let go about 3 months ago. And ever since he left, I've been in charge myself. And I've made sure everything has been up to code. I recently just had a baby, bought a house, and I don't want to lose my business, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to stay in business. And we don't use Alton Street for test drives. I think that was their concern. And we also, just want to make sure that, that you guys would consider giving us another chance to continue our business. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to come up and speak regarding this item? Please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
My name is Brian Arthur, address 120 Altan Street, DeSalmon 70030. And I'm here, I'm the neighbor across the street, and in the year that they have been there, the code enforcement people has been there 7 times, and they failed all 7 times. They have way too many cars in there, and about the driving up and down Altan Street to test their cars after they work on them. We have 2 police reports that's in your packets showing that they did get pulled over and they did get cited for speeding on Altan Street. And it's just an eyesore. They're not compliant to anything. They're not good neighbors. They've told my wife, we do whatever we want here, we're paying rent, and shouldn't be like that. If you look at the layout of it, they should have 6 cars on one side and 10 open spots for parking for customers. That has never happened, including up to and including today. Both sides is filled up all the way to the highway, and you cannot park there unless you park down the middle row where they can't get the cars out. And I would hope that you would vote to close them down, because they shouldn't be there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arthur. Is there,
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to,
yeah. I
oh,
have
you
to-
don't get to rebut? When?
No.
Well, they could tell me that again.
Excuse me,
All right.
please. We have to allow someone else to come up and speak. Anyone else who would like to come up and speak, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Candy Arthur, live at 120 Oten Street, the Almonds. And also, they parking in front of my house, unloading. We was told there was no access to Oten Street. Everybody will unload and load on Highway 90. And now, I don't know why the owner parks on side the fence in front of my driveway. He has other places to park. He shouldn't be parking there. If I hit him, who's in the wrong? I am or he is. It's ridiculous. They have no courtesy at all. Right now, they leave trash out. They got trash as of right now for about a week now, on side of the trash can, not in the trash can. And we gotta look at that constantly, 24/7. And they don't, he always complain about got neighbors on the other side of that business on the other side of. Yes, we do have business, but they also have work hours from 7 to 5. At 5 o'clock, they're going. We're having no noise, no, problems with them. Them, on the other hand, they stay till 7, 8 o'clock at night, making all kind of racket. I work from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'll go to bed. I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Think I want to hear noise, delivering cars at 9 o'clock in front of my house? I was like, they have no courtesy at all with us. And you go talk to them, oh, I can do anything I want because I'm written here. I can park anywhere I want because I'm written here. It shouldn't be like that. It should be apply like everybody else got to apply by the rules. They got to apply by the rules, we got to apply by the rules. They're not doing that. Like seven times they're going over there and visiting with them because they're in compliance. That would have been me. The third time, I would have been going. And Mike comes to the house before all this stuff happening. He promised us only 10 cars in a car lot. And he promised us if it ain't right, if it's in 6 months, they'll be going. And it ain't working out. It's going over a year now. It still ain't working out. They should be going by now. And to this day now, we still here arguing about this stuff. So I hope y'all can just shut it down, and I'd rather have something else to look at besides junk cars. Every car that come off that lot, either got jumped. Like the other day, that car was getting pushed off the ramp because you couldn't start. They got flat tires, no bumpers, and plastic on the windows in all of them cars. There's no car that looked decent enough to even buy. So I hope y'all close it down and put something else there. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Arthur. All right. Would anyone else like to come up and speak regarding this item? Please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Councilman Commerdale.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Yes, I spoke to Ms. Albert. This landowner, Mr. Nabu, has applied for the rezoning of the adjacent properties. I've also visited the properties and met with him. The idea, as told to me, was going to allow the 18-wheeler to pull onto the existing property to offload if this rezoning passed. So I'd like to make a motion to table this until after the rezoning.
Okay, we have a motion on the table that has this motion by Councilwoman O'Daniel, second by Councilwoman Skiba. Please cast your votes to table file number 2024-0425. And that passes unanimously. Persons to address the council. File number 2024-0438, Chief Matthew Allshouse, general update of fire department funding and personnel.
Good evening. Good evening, Parish council members and Parish President. Thank you for providing me the opportunity to address the council and share an update of Hollandville Volunteer Fire Department and overall fire service within St. Charles Parish. One thing that the Fire Association asked the chiefs and presidents is to show a presence here tonight for the first meeting of the year. Moving forward, we would want to have presence of the fire service at the council meetings. And then also, at least each quarter, to present some type of information or awareness to the council going throughout the year and moving forward. As we closed out 2024, Hahnville Volunteer Fire Department responded to 239 calls for service. Since 2001, we averaged approximately 250 calls per service, up from 200 calls annually in the prior years. This increase reflects growing demands on our fire department. This year, we completed all of our outstanding Hurricane Ida repairs, with our generator at our main station becoming operational in August. Both stations are now fully restored and functioning at 100%. We were also fortunate to have a successful year in securing grants through the Assistance to the Firefighters Grant, AFG. We received $306,380 in federal funding to replace aging SCBA's, purchase a RIT pack, and upgrade 25 portable radios. Additionally, we received $18,270 through FEMA grants via Louisiana Department of Agriculture and Forestry. These grants enabled us to acquire life-saving equipment that would not have been possible without within our operating budget. Our department currently operates with one full-time firefighter operator, one full-time probationary firefighter, 3 part-time firefighters, 1 full-time administrative assistant, 16 volunteers, 9 of whom are classified as firefighters. Our probationary firefighter is set to begin an academy in February of this year with the Louisiana Firefighters Foundation. This month, the Property Insurance Association of Louisiana, PIAL, is conducting our grading of Fire District 3. Looking ahead, we are acquiring a new fire apparatus costing the department $1.3 to $5 million to replace a 30-year-old truck. This investment will not extend the life of our second-out engine, which is a 20-year-old, but will help ease the burden on this aging vehicle. While all of these accomplishments are significant, we face ongoing challenges with funding and manpower. These issues are not unique to Hahnville, but affect all fire districts within the parish. Discussions about future of the fire service in St. Charles Parish are ongoing, focusing on standardization, operations, and improving daytime coverage. However, these measures alone will not resolve the funding and staffing challenges we face. At some point, funding will be needed to continue moving forward. I've reviewed the expenditures of all fire districts, and it's clear that the current funded only basic operations and maintenance. The service we are currently providing is not what most would consider a professional level. Our operations represent the bare minimum and are not necessarily adequate for what our citizens deserve. Without additional funding, we cannot address staffing shortages, make critical upgrades, or provide the level of service that our community truly deserves. I also wanted to address the misconception that the fire protection taxing districts have excess funds. Any surplus funds are typically earmarked for capital projects such as apparatus, station improvements, which often take decades to save for. Without grants, these critical purchases would be nearly impossible. Volunteer recruitment and retention remain a pressing issue. It costs over $20,000 to train and equip a single firefighter, and it takes 2 to 4 years to fully train a volunteer. Many leave due to significant time constraints and the commitment required. Paid staff also remains unstable as we rely heavily on part-time personnel who may be unavailable due to obligations for their primary departments. This leaves gaps in coverage that could result in delayed response and increased risk. Despite these challenges, the fire service within St. Charles Parish has worked tirelessly to meet the community needs. However, we are at a crossroads without immediate action. The fire service as we know it will no longer be sustainable. Lives, property, and safety of our firefighters are at greater risk every day. We cannot continue to rely on Band-Aid solutions to address systematic challenges. The citizens of St. Charles Parish deserve a fire service that is proactive, professional, and adequately resourced to meet their needs. Not just today, but
Chief
for years
Allshouse, you're
into
out
the
of
future.
time. Would you like some more time?
If I could, please.
Okay.
I'm pretty close to wrapping up.
Okay, all right. Let's please cast our votes to allow Chief Allshouse additional time. And that passed unanimously. You can continue.
So I'm going to start. I don't know where I left off, but I'm going to wrap it up pretty quickly here. Despite these challenges, the fire service within St. Charles Parish has worked tirelessly to meet the community needs. However, we are at a crossroads. Without immediate action, the fire service, as we know it, will no longer be sustainable. Lives, property, and safety of our firefighters at the greatest risk. We cannot continue to rely on Band-Aid solutions to address systematic challenges. The citizens of St. Charles Parish deserve a fire service that is proactive, professional, and adequately resourced to meet their needs, not just today, but years to come. This is a moment for leadership. I urge the Parish Council to work with us in addressing these issues head-on. Together, we must find solutions to secure sustainable funding, support recruitment and retention, and provide resources necessary to deliver a level of protection our community deserves. The decisions we make now will shape the future of the fire service within St. Charles Parish. Thank you for the opportunity, your consideration, and the commitment to safety of our community. And then I'd also like to add, for Hawnville, I'd like to pass out our 2024 budget expenditures and our proposed budget for 2025.
Thank you, Chief Allshouse.
Thank you.
And congratulations again on those grants.
Thank you.
Moving on. Okay, resolutions. 2024-0439, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a letter by St. Charles Parish approving Civil and Sports Design Engineering, LLC, as the assignee of civil and environmental consulting engineers regarding the multi-phase project contract for engineering services with civil and environmental consulting engineers for the St. Charles Parish Dog Park project. Mr. Ube.
Yes, as reflected by the resolution, it's authorizing the parish president to execute a letter approving the transfer of the contract, which can be assigned to civil sports design engineer. The parish president can talk about any details with regard to that contract, but it's just a continuation of what's existing. It's not a brand-new contract in any way.
Thank you, Mr. Ube. File number 2024-0439 is now open for public comment. If there is anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? All right, please cast your votes for file number 2024-0439. And that passes unanimously. 2024-0440, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a letter by St. Charles Parish approving Civil and Sports Design Engineering, LLC, as the assignee of civil and environmental consulting engineers regarding ordinance number 19-2-10, professional service multi-phase project contract with civil and environmental consulting engineers for providing all necessary professional engineering services for the 1,270-foot road extension of the Rue Lacans roadway, parish project number P190102, and executed February 20th, 2019, and ordinance number 24-7-14, amendment number 1, to the professional services agreement with Danny J. Hebert, P.E., LLC, DBA Civil and Environmental Consulting Engineers, to perform professional engineering services for the Deputy Jeff G. Watson Drive roadway extension, project number P190102, formerly Rue Lacans Road Extension, executed July 31st, 2024. Mr. Ube.
Yes, again, similar to the prior resolution of 2024-0439, this is an assignment of the existing contract, actually authorizing the parish president to execute a letter agreeing to that assignment for the project of the Deputy Watson roadway extension.
Thank you, Mr. Wu. File number 2024-0440 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Any council discussion? Okay, seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2024-0440. And that passes unanimously. Appointments. 2024-0429, council ex officio appointment to the St. Charles Parish Library Board of Control. The chairman of the parish council shall be ex officio, provided, however, that the chairman of the parish council shall have the right to designate another member of the governing authority of the parish to serve in her place. 1-year term to begin January 6, 2025, and expires January 5th, 2026. I'm going to continue serving as the council ex officio to the St. Charles Parish Library Board of Control. Okay, 2024-0430, council ex officio appointment to the St. Charles Parish Housing Authority. Council ex officio appointment to the St. Charles Parish Housing Authority, 1-year term to begin January 9th, 2025, and expire January 9th, 2026. Are there any nominations? Councilwoman O'Daniels.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to make a motion to appoint Councilwoman DeBruyere for the ex officio appointment to the St. Charles Parish Housing Authority.
Okay. Are there any other nominations before we close nominations? Okay, seeing no other nominations at this time, per Rule 40, I have confirmed that all members have had the opportunity to submit an individual to be nominated. We have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman O'Daniels, and we need a second by Councilman Commerdale. Please cast your vote to close nominations. And that passes unanimously. Now we're going to vote to confirm the nomination. So please cast your vote to confirm the nomination of Councilwoman DeBruyere for the ex officio appointment to the St. Charles Parish Housing Authority. And that passes unanimously. Meetings, announcements, notices, et cetera. Meetings, Hospital Service District Number 1 will be held Wednesday, January 8th, 2025 at 2 p.m. in the council chambers. Planning and Zoning Commission will be held Thursday, January 9th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers. The Communications District 911 will be held Monday, January 13th, 2025 at 5 p.m. in the council chambers. The Board of Adjustment, ZBA, will be held Thursday, January 16th, 6 p.m., the council chambers. Library Board of Control will be held Tuesday, January 21st, 2025, at 6 p.m. in the council chambers. And the next St. Charles Parish Council meeting will be held Monday, January 27th, 6 p.m. in the council chambers. Announcements, Parish Holiday, Monday, January 20th, 2025, for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Please note that there will be a 3-week lapse between council meetings. The next regular council meeting will be held Monday, January 27th, 2025. Special matters to be considered by the council. 2024-0431, appointment of chairman to Operations Maintenance and Construction Management Committee. I'm going to appoint, or reappoint, I should say, Councilman Walter Pillier to chair this committee. Okay, 2024-0432, appointment of chairman to the Legislative Committee. Council chairman shall serve as councilman to act as chair, shall name a councilman to act as chairman of the Legislative Committee per Council Rule 32. I'd like to reappoint Councilman Fisher to this committee. 2024-0433, appointment of chairman to the Contract Finance and Administrative Committee. Council chairman shall name a councilman to act as chairman of the Contract Finance and Administrative Committee per Council Rule 32. And I'd like to reappoint Councilwoman O'Daniels to this committee. 2024-0434, appointment of chairman to the Special Projects, Public Safety, Health, and Environmental Committee. Council chairman shall name a councilman to act as chairman of the Special Projects, Public Safety, Health, and Environmental Committee per Parish Council Rule 32. I'm going to reappoint Councilman Willie Commerdale. And 2024-0435, appointment of chairman to the Hurricane Protection Projects Committee. Council chairman shall name a councilman. Oh, excuse me. Councilwoman O'Daniels
After you get done, point of
on this
principle.
one?
Yeah.
Okay. Appointed chairman to the Hurricane Protection Projects Committee per Parish Council Rule 32. I'm going to reappoint myself to chair that committee. Okay. Councilwoman O'Daniels?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Point of personal privilege. I'd like to recognize the captains here and all the members of the firefighters that have come forward to support their brother chief in their cry or their, I saw it the last time, I saw it last year, and it struck me as odd to not recognize you guys for your service. I'd like to do that. I also like to say this is one budget. We have several departments. If we can have meaningful discussions, we'd have to see everybody's proposals. It's a hydra. So we would like to know more about the fire department, but we know really very little because they do not report to us directly. So I'd like to thank you all for your service and know that we are listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman O'Daniels. I'd also like to thank you all for being here. It would be very helpful if we could have you all on our annual report schedule. I believe that's been done in the past. If you're interested in doing that, please reach out to me or our council secretary. Let me know, and we can get you all on the schedule like the other agencies report to us once a year. All right. Adjournment. A motion and a second is needed to adjourn. We have a motion by Councilwoman Skiba, a second by Councilman Fisher. Please cast your votes to adjourn. Thanks. And that passes unanimously. Have a great evening. We are officially adjourned.